Morning, everyone. Tell a story of a fellow who said to God, God, is it true that to you 1,000 years is like 1 minute? And God said, yeah, it's true, 1,000 years is like 1 minute. And then he said, God, is it true that $1 million to you is like a penny? And God said, yeah, $1 million is like a penny. So he says, God, would you mind giving me a couple of pennies? And God said, sure, just wait a minute. Today, we read Parshas Kisisa, and we read about the worst sin that the Jewish people ever committed, which was the sin of the golden calf. Why do I say it's the worst sin? Because although God forgave the Jews, God says of a Yom Pakadati, that every time there's a punishment meted out, there's a portion of the punishment for the golden calf throughout all of Jewish history that's still connected to anything that is negative. So it's the sin that had the greatest ramifications, the worshipping of the golden calf 40 days after the Jewish people received the Torah at Mount Sinai. Rabbis compare it, as I said yesterday, to a woman who has an affair on the honeymoon. You just got the Torah and you're already worshipping another God. But the question is, what was the cause of this sin? And the Torah tells us explicitly in this week's Parsha what the cause was. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to receive the Torah for 40 days and 40 nights, and he said, I'll be back in 40 days. And the Torah begins the terrible story of the golden calf by saying, Vayara'am, the nation saw, Ki boshesh Moshe l'redes minahar, that Moshe Rabbeinu was delayed, he tarried in his coming down from the mountain to return to them with the Torah. And Rashi explains what happened, that he said, I'll be back in 40 days. And they thought that the day he left was the day one of the count. Really, the next day was the first day of the 40-day count. So when they finished the 40 days, they said, Moshe's not back. And they went into a state of panic. And because they didn't have patience to wait one more day, the terrible sin of the golden calf occurred. And here we learn about the importance of the trait of savlanut. Savlanut is patience, to have patience. Because sometimes by jumping the gun, as they say, or rushing too quickly, you could cause grave damage. As we see with the sin of the golden calf, it came from such a minor negative attribute of not having enough patience to wait a little bit longer for Moshe Rabbeinu to return. If there's ever been a generation that suffers from lack of patience, it's our generation. And just to give you a few examples. Number one is call waiting, right? It used to be, imagine two people are talking. Would you barge in and say, I need to talk to you? You wait, he's talking. When he finishes, you talk. Call waiting is, I can't wait. Beep, beep, beep. I want to barge into your conversation. And that's perfectly normal because no one has patience anymore. Another example is, it used to be you sat down to write a letter. Then came faxes. You don't have to wait for the mail to deliver it in 2 days or 3 days. You could get it right away. But that wasn't quick enough, faxes, because faxes still take a few minutes till the paper goes through the machine. We came up with email. But even mail is not good enough, because email, if you get an email till you check your email box, it could be an hour. You don't check your email box every minute. So then we came up with texting. You get an instant message, instant response. But even that wasn't good enough. You won't know why, because when you get a text, the person doesn't know when you got it. So you could take your time. I could answer them in 3 hours. Maybe I didn't see the message. But now we have WhatsApp. With WhatsApp, you could see the minute they read your message. So if you read my message, where's the answer? I expect an answer within seconds. Well, what's taking so long? So they say today's kids stand in front of the microwave and they press 2 minutes and they're like, come on, what's taking so long, So we have no more savlanut, we have no more patience. There's a beautiful story about a father who was, a man who was sitting next to a cocoon, and he saw a butterfly pushing its way out. And he's struggling to get out of the cocoon, and he felt bad for the butterfly, so he cut open the cocoon to release the butterfly. Out walked a little butterfly with big, fat wings filled with fluid, and it limped along and it never flew for the rest of its life. Why? Because the way God created the world is by pushing its way through the cocoon, all the fluid from the wings go into the slim body. All the fluid from the wings, from the body go into the wings, and it flaps off and it flies. But because he didn't go through the struggle of pushing through the opening of the cocoon, this butterfly, it remained with a fat body filled with fluid, with very limp wings, and it could never fly. And the metaphor is that sometimes we want to rush the process of life. We want to help our kids get, ahead of life quicker and not go through the stages of life, of the growth, of the struggles. And we think we're helping them, or fast-tracking them, as they say. And by the way, fast tracking is a real thing. When you go to Disneyland, you can buy a special pass for a few more dollars where you get to the front of every line. They cut you in right away. You get a personal guide. They take you, cut through every line. And people pay a lot of money to fast track everything, right? But sometimes you can't fast track things in life. Hashem has His timing. He knows when things have to happen. And sometimes we get impatient. We like, come on Hashem, rush it. Let's go. We're ready to go to the next stage. But Hashem knows you haven't fully developed. You haven't finished that stage. And you're not ready for the next stage. And if you rush too quickly, you don't build each stage of life properly. And therefore, and why is the Mishkan the atonement for the sin of the golden calf? Because you know what the most important lesson the Jews had to learn in building the Mishkan? Patience. Because they couldn't travel when they're ready to travel. They had to sit. When Hashem moves the cloud, now we move. And to learn to move and travel in life as God's timing. You want to do this, you want to accomplish that, you want to have your next stage of life. Hashem knows when it's the right time. When the cloud moves, you'll move. So for 40 years, the Jews had to learn the lesson of patience in the Mishkan, only traveling when Hashem told them it's time to rectify the sin of the golden calf, which came from a lack of patience. Today, the mayor of Palm Beach, Gail Caniglio, proclaimed today as Palm Beach Synagogue Day in honor of 25 years of Palm Beach Synagogue. And when I look back at the 25 years, you really learned the lesson of patience. Baruch Hashem, we achieved what we've achieved and we're at where we're at. But it didn't happen overnight. There were 25 years of one level to the next level. And you can remember having 5 people on a Shabbos morning and then having a second minyan on Friday night for Kabbalah Shabbos, and then Monday and Thursday minions, and then daily morning minions, and then Mincha Ma'ariv minions, and then a Hebrew school with 5 kids, and everything. And you watch the way all the different stages of development grow. Things don't happen overnight. Nothing happens on our time. It's all on Hashem's time. And we have to learn the attribute of patience. And if we wait, all good things come to those who wait.